Greetings from Dallas, Texas. I'm here at Laurel Land Memorial Park in Dallas. And I'm at what I consider one of the more interesting cemeteries. Not because it's necessarily super historic, but because of one particular person who is interred here. Someone I consider to be a major musical influence in my life and many others. One of the guitar greats of all time. I'm here at the Vaughan estate, and as if you haven't guessed by now, you know I'm at the grave of the late great Stevie Ray Vaughan, also known as Stephen Ray Vaughan, and some idiot decided to write SRV on his grave, something I do not endorse. October 3rd, 1954 to August 27th, 1990. Thank you for all the love you passed our way. Indeed, indeed, indeed. He was a proud Texan, and Texans are proud of him. Thus the Texan state flag here waving in the breeze. And it's not just Stevie who's buried here in this small family plot. It's also his parents, Jimmy Lee and Martha Jean, married January 13th, 1950. It's a lovely, well-maintained family plot here in Dallas. Yeah, Stevie passed away August 27th, 1990, just a few days after my wife and I were married in 1990. We were also married in August of that year. Still married to this day. A little touch and go sometimes, but like that's what most marriages are. But we're still together, seeing things through thick and thin. Wish Stevie was still here. Unfortunately, he was a victim of circumstance. He had finished a concert in Alpine Valley, Wisconsin. I remember it was a concert with Eric Clapton and other guitar greats, and it was a particularly foggy night. Now, Alpine Valley is a concert venue. It's also pretty legendary in the Grateful Dead family. You can look it up. But it was particularly foggy, and Stevie and some other musicians hopped onto a helicopter to take him away from the concert venue to wherever they were staying. I don't remember where. But it was so foggy the pilot couldn't see and crashed the helicopter promptly into the side of a mountain. In the wintertime, if my memory serves correctly, the venue is also a ski resort. So you got a lot of ski areas, and damn, if it wasn't for the weather. Stevie had a song called Couldn't Stand the Weather. Also has an album called Couldn't Stand the Weather. It was the first album I ever bought of Stevie's. Now, I first heard Stevie on David Bowie's Let's Dance album. He played guitar on it. If you listen to the song Let's Dance, you hear a real bluesy guitar. That's Stevie Ray playing. And Stevie was famously a substance abuser at the time. He had cleaned himself up before the crash, which makes it even more tragic as far as I'm concerned. The guy cleaned himself up, had a new lease on life, and then the finger of fate pointed at him, sadly. But if it wasn't for his substance abuse, he likely would have toured with David Bowie on for the Let's Dance album. Let's Dance, let me rephrase that. I think I may have slurred it a bit. I like to keep things real. But his substance abuse was a problem, and that's just why he just didn't tour. And his band Double Trouble did not open for David Bowie on the tour either. But that said, he went and started on a solo career, which made him a superstar. Just a few months after he recorded and the album was released, the David Bowie album, just a few months afterwards, I saw him for the first time on a TV show called Austin City Limits. It's one of the few music television shows on TV at the time, and back then, a lot of people didn't have cable TV. It may seem strange to a lot of people now, but a lot of homes didn't have cable. It wasn't necessarily because they couldn't afford it, it's just that cable wasn't everywhere. Not every neighborhood was wired for cable TV. And so you'd have your ABC, CBS, NBC, maybe an independent station if you're lucky, and a PBS station, and that was generally it. I also got Canadian TV, CBUT from Canada. I used to watch a lot of Canadian television as well. But I remember watching Austin City Limits, and here's this guy in a blue kimono playing a Stratocaster with a black hat on. I'm like, the blue kimono? You just didn't see that. And this guy was wailing like Jimi Hendrix. I could not believe it. I sat there stunned watching it. And then I pulled myself together and I called a friend of mine named Mark. He was a budding guitarist at the time. We were both in high school, at the very end of high school. And I called his home. And I called and I said, hey, his mom answered. I said, can I speak to Mark, please? Okay, sure. Mark, Gene's on the phone. You know, that's my name, Gene. So he gets on the phone with me. I said, dude, you've got to watch Austin City Limits right now. So he yelled his mom to turn to whatever the channel was for PBS. And he was in the middle of a solo, and we both were on the phone together. Remember, this is a landline, so we were like connected to a wall basically. You know, and maybe if we're lucky, we had like an extension cord to make it out to another room. But we were able to watch the TV show together back then, and just sat just amazed at this guy's talent. I mean, he had a style all of his own. And afterwards, we were both like dyed-in-the-wool Stevie Ray Vaughan fans. Been a fan ever since. And here I am paying respects to the man all these years later. From 1983 to 2026. A long time coming, but here I am. I met Stevie's brother Jimmy a few years ago at a non-musical event. I'm not going to say when or where it was, but I talked to him for maybe 2 minutes. And Jimmy was famously a member of the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Honestly, I don't remember if the Fabulous Thunderbirds are still active or not, but they were pretty popular in the 80s. They had a big hit called Tough Enough. And Jimmy's a great guitarist on his own. Believe me, I'm not trying to minimize his talent, but you know, let's face it, Stevie just had a charisma and style all his own that just really stood head and shoulders above everybody else at the time. I would say, other than Frank Marino, who played with a band called Mahogany Rush. Frank Marino's from Canada, and so is the band. Other than Frank Marino, I would say Stevie is like the white Jimi Hendrix. The Caucasian Jimi Hendrix, whatever you want to say. Jimi Hendrix is still the standard bearer as far as I'm concerned. But wow, what a talent Stevie had. I just wish he was still here to this day. I could just imagine the music he would have created in all these years later. We'll never know. It'll be the great unknown for us, I suppose. But massive, massive respect is due to the talent and memory of Stevie Ray Vaughan. This is a bucket list item for me. A job well done, sir. A job well done. Rest in peace. And on that note, I say to everybody out there, as usual, Peace out and goodbye.